So not too long ago, I was dealing with a weird situation with a girl. This girl I had met at a public event, and so I saw her at the event. I thought she looked really nice, really cute. And so I had her Instagram, and then I told myself, let me send her a message the very next day because I'd definitely, be interested in talking to her and potentially seeing her. So anyways, we ended up going out on a couple dates. The first date was pretty good. And then I was just like, text me when you get home because, that's the gentlemanly thing to do and women love that. We talked, we continued talking, and she eventually let me know when she got home. And then the second date, the same thing. It was a very good date. We had a good time. And then afterwards, I noticed that the texts were very boring. Even after the first date, the texts were very bland. Not only would she take several days to respond, but they were very bland. And so eventually, I continued to want to see her more times. I ended up seeing her a third time, same thing. She's great in person, but the texts suck. And so this kind of left me scratching my head. I'm like, it appears that this girl's really interested in me, but she's giving the signals that she's not. And so long story short, I wanted to go out with her a fourth time. And then she was just like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I'm not the type of woman who just dates for the sake of dating. If it's not going towards something serious or towards something like that may possibly lead to marriage, I'm not interested in that. Also, I got the vibe that you're not super committed because I get the feeling that you're talking to multiple girls, this and that, etc. And so long story short, I decided at that time that it would be best to meet her, go out with her, and discuss these things, and then see potentially if we can explore things further towards a more serious side. Not necessarily meaning to put a serious title right away, but to explore things in a more serious manner, to navigate it in a more serious direction. So long story short, the whole point of me telling you the story is because of this. A lot of guys will take that behavior from her, aka she's not texting, she's taking days to respond, to mean that she's just not interested. When in my case, it was the complete opposite. She was interested, but she was just protecting herself because she's afraid of not only getting hurt, she's afraid that I'm talking to other people as well. So she's afraid of making a fool out of herself. She's like, here I am, I fell for this guy, but he's talking to several other women. You know what I mean? Put yourself in her shoes. I'm not necessarily saying it's the right thing to do, because if a woman's afraid that a man is talking to other women, typically what she'll do is she'll try to give him more attention so he can forget about the other options and focus on her. But for her, it's a little different because she doesn't have that much relationship experience. And, for her, it's kind of different. She's protecting her heart. She's thinking about it from a more logical standpoint, which we can't necessarily say it's wrong. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but whatever. I'm just not used to that. And so in my eyes, I'm like, she's definitely not interested after a certain point. But it turns out she is interested, but her texting skills suck because of the fact that she's fearful, and also because of the fact that she senses that I'm talking to other women. Because before, when she asked me, she was like, what are your intentions? I'm like, my intentions are definitely I want to explore things further with you and see where it goes because, I'm definitely interested. But we only met one time. This was, of course, at the time when we only met one time, which was maybe 2 months ago or even more, to be honest. So judging by everything I just said, right, a lot of these red pill gurus will tell you, oh no, if she does that, she belongs to the streets, bro. She's talking to a million other guys. Okay, if she's talking to a million other guys, why would she tell me things like, if this isn't going somewhere serious, I don't see a point? Or I just get the vibe that you're not 100% committed in the relationship. I get the vibe you're talking to other women, which is fine. I can't say it's wrong, but it's not my cup of tea. Those are big words from a woman. If a woman says those words, they mean something serious. I'm not going to go into details of what happened exactly or what might happen. Who knows? I'm not going to do that. That's not the purpose of this video. But the purpose of this video is to get you to navigate things the right direction when something's happening with a woman. Oftentimes, when you listen to these red pill gurus, they would give you the band-aid to the solution. They would give you the solution in terms of, oh, she's not texting, just ignore her. Sure, you're fixing, quote unquote, fixing the issue on the surface, but you're not fixing the deeper meaning. The whole deeper reason why she wasn't texting and she was taking forever to text and she had very boring texts is because of fear. She's fearful that I'm not going to be for her. She was at the time, fearful that I'm not going to be for her. She was fearful that I'm not going to commit to her. She was fearful that maybe if I fall for this guy, he's just going to dump me. He's just going to go on and say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't see you the same way. I just wanted to go out with you because I thought you were cute, whatever. So regardless of whether or not that's right or wrong from her perspective, you have to also understand, not everything is just about, oh, these women are for the streets, these women are doing this to play you. No. A lot of it has to do with you. You're the man, you're the leader, and therefore you should be the person to, as much as possible, of course, not to do anything crazy, but as much as possible, fix the situation, navigate it, and penetrate that situation, as weird of a word as that is. Break it down, whatever word you want to use, break that situation down and fix it. Know what the deeper meaning is behind when a woman does these things to you. Be clear, be transparent. That doesn't mean you're beta just because you're doing that. Oh, you're a beta male. Just be honest. Be like, hey, I noticed you're a bit distant than normal. I think we had a great time on the day and I'd love to explore this more. What are your thoughts? Boom, simple. And so when you do that, when you start thinking of the reasons or the ways in which you can navigate a situation based upon how the other person might be thinking, because you got to work with the evidence that's given to you, right? You can't make assumptions. That's one of the 4 agreements that I read in the book. One of them is don't make assumptions. There's a woman who's, treating you a specific way, or she's confusing you. Maybe she's sending you mixed signals. Although many times, if not most times, is because she's not interested, but it's not always the case. There's no one size fits all. That may be the rule, but there's always exceptions to every rule, you know what I mean? So in this case, if a woman, especially if she's like, Middle Eastern and she comes from at least partially conservative family, she doesn't have that much dating experience. She just doesn't just put herself out there for anyone to access. She's gonna be more conservative and she's gonna be a bit more logical than the Western woman. Actually, probably a lot more logical than the Western woman when it comes to this specific aspect, because she doesn't want to hurt herself. She doesn't want to ruin her reputation. Not saying her reputation will be ruined, but this is how she's thinking. And so when you ask deeper questions without making assumptions, hey, I noticed blah, blah, blah. I noticed you're more distant than blah, blah, blah. What's going on? What's the reason? I'd like to explore it. Let her talk to you. If she stonewalls you, then she just has shitty communication skills. And to be honest, no matter what, that person's just not for you. But if you're exploring it deeper, and you're finding out the hidden reasons why she's behaving in a certain way, this person could potentially turn out to be great for you. And I'm not talking about myself right now. I'm just talking about one situation. I'm not even going to talk about what happened or what will happen. But what I'm saying is for you, maybe have a situation with a woman where she is fearful that she'll lose you to another girl. If she thinks he's attractive, he's very good looking, he's very fit, he's very mature, he's charismatic. He makes people comfortable. He knows how to make me open up to him. So in the back of her mind, she's like, he's a catch. There's other women who might feel the same about him. There's other women who might feel the same about him. That's gonna make me jealous, and not just jealous. I fear there's a chance of me losing him to another girl. And if that happens, I'm gonna be completely heartbroken. And also I'm gonna feel foolish for it. I'm gonna feel so stupid. How did I open myself up to this person? This person didn't even feel the same way about me. So I know that this is an exception to the main rule, because generally speaking, the rule is if a woman's not showing you interest, she's not interested. If you're trying to make plans with her and she's always bland by text and she's taking days to respond, she's not interested. That's the rule. If she's always making excuses and she never makes time for you, she's not interested. However, there are exceptions to every rule, like I just said, especially if they go ahead and tell you something like what was told to me a few months ago. That is very serious. Those are big words. I just get the vibe that you're not 100% committed in the relationship. I get the feeling that you're still talking to other people and seeing what's best for you. And of course you can. I can't say that's wrong, but it's just not for me. I'm more interested in something serious. A woman who's not interested in you will not say those words, bro. Those should be kind of like music to your ears. Not in the sense that you're being rude or mean or manipulative, but more in the sense that this woman is definitely interested. She's putting it on the line right there. She's telling you, sure, I do want to see you, but I'm not the type to just date for the sake of dating. I'm looking for something serious. And if you legitimately feel that you want to pursue it, then pursue it. If you feel like you still want to get to know her more, say that to her. I'm open to something serious, but I want to know you more, whatever. But the whole point of the story isn't this situation in and of itself. The whole point of the story is that sometimes there's a primary reason, not a secondary reason, for why a woman's behaving a certain way. The secondary reason, oh yeah, she's not texting you a lot. Let's give you a band-aid solution. Let's give you a temporary solution. Ignore her back. Yeah, she'll get curious about you, bro. Advice like that makes me cringe, because it doesn't fix anything for the both of you, for either of you. She's gonna be left confused, you're gonna be left confused. It doesn't really create connection. I'm not talking about that. However, when you dig deeper into the root cause of the issue, and both of you are on the same page, and then you notice, oh wait, this time, it's not that she's not interested, it's quite the opposite. She's very interested, but she's afraid of getting hurt. Then that explains things more deeply for you to understand. And then you get to navigate from there. You get to choose whether or not you want to continue, as long as you're being genuine, of course, and you're not lying. So the whole take-home point from this situation, or from these situations, whatever, is for you to understand that it's not always what's apparent on the surface. There's deeper things, and a lot of times the woman will tell you. But the whole point is, it's not always about what you see on the surface. Sure, what you see on the surface is important. It's actually very important, but it's not everything. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to know everything about a person, especially if that person doesn't tell you these certain things. But when you make sense of what is being said, and on top of the behaviors, then you can reach a more logical conclusion instead of thinking with just your heart. You're supposed to think with both, in a good balance of both. For example, this woman says she's interested in me, but she never makes time to see me. And every time I try to make time to see her, she always has bullshit excuses. This woman says she's really interested in me. She said that she's busy this week, but she said next week she'll get back to me. This woman's asking me questions about my day, about my life, about things, ways in which she wants to genuinely know me. This woman's not asking me those questions. This woman's using manipulative tactics to get my attention. This woman is being genuine and mature about her communication, about everything with me. You see how it's different? So that's how I want you to think about it, man. Just think about it from a more, I guess you would say, pragmatic perspective. Always look at actions, not words. But also, words in this situation, like mine, were actually very important. So that's different. Again, this is an exception to the rule. But make sense of things. Stop thinking that every woman is evil. Every woman's out there to play you. Every woman's out there to break your heart. Because if you're using the excuse of, I'm not in shape, I don't look good, women must suck because they're not giving me attention. No offense, dude, but the problem most likely is you. You're the one who needs to get your shit together, get your finances together, get your look together, get your charisma together, everything. But that's a whole separate topic. So I hope you enjoyed the video, man. Think about things from a clearer perspective and work on your communication skills as much as possible. You need to have crucial conversations sometimes, not just with women, just with anyone in life in general. And then from there, when you start having those crucial conversations and you get used to it, you end up developing a skill set that can pay off a lot in the long term. Trust me.